What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Seibelmania and Friends podcast. I am Seibelmania, and today, my friend joining me is my buddy, Mr. Joel Woodside. Joel, how's life in Canada, man?
Not bad, not bad. How are things in Colorado?
Hey, we're living, man. It's not bad. It's a little chillier than we'd like it to be, but hey, it is what it is. So welcome to your very first episode of Seibelmania and Friends.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
A lot to get into today. A lot to get into. Who knows what we'll talk about? We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about some of the roster cuts. Not all the roster cuts, but a couple of them, like the bigger names. Because if you want my full thoughts on everybody that got released, go check out one of my other videos I did on it. We'll just get into a lot of stuff. So let's start off, Joel, with Raw last night. Raw was from Knoxville. No, it was from Louisville, Kentucky. I almost said Knoxville, Tennessee. It was from Louisville, Kentucky, and there was a moment that I caught, and I'm not sure if anybody else caught it, but you really had to listen for it. When they were saying when they were saying that Louisville was the home of the Louisville Lip, and then they didn't mention Jim Cornette, who was known as the Louisville Lip. They mentioned Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that was. I don't think they like to mention the name Cornette, so I think that's kind of.
Well, no, because then they got.
I think that's kind of. Wrestling royalty, yes, in a sense, but
no.
I don't know.
To pay him royalties.
They would have, yes, they would have.
Yeah, that's what I was
saying. They would have, but I think part of that stems back from the issues that there were when he was there from Ohio Valley, if you remember any of those issues.
Yeah, I've heard about Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette has issues everywhere he goes, be it OVW, be it WWE, be it ROH, Impact. Everywhere he goes, he has issues.
Yeah.
maybe there's a pattern there. Maybe Jim.
I think there is. I think his partner was quite a few of the issues in OVW as well.
Yeah. His part.
That's kind of why they didn't bring him up, because bad blood there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm glad to see OVW is still going strong to this day. I actually just watched one of their shows on YouTube last night, so you should definitely go check them out. I'm going to go ahead and just share a link for this, so if anybody wants to watch, they can. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are live on YouTube, so if you have any questions for Joel or myself, please send them here. Please comment down below. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. We both will. Joel, I think you have access to the comment section as well. I sent you a link, so go ahead and just share that with any and everybody you can. There we go. We're going to send that to the... okay. Well, hopefully we'll get some people going. So, yeah, like I said, Raw last night was from Louisville, Kentucky. And before we started the show, you were just saying that Raw last night was actually decent. And you know what? I agree with you. It was nothing horrible. They had some good they did some new stuff last night.
I think there was one kind of obvious thing. Yeah. I found the women's 5-way match. It was kind of obvious in a sense, with Liv Morgan winning, with how Becky was acting towards her during the whole thing, but
yeah,
I still can't complain about it.
But before the match, that's kind of what that kind of also helped make things obvious, because Bianca Belair kind of just shoot off Doudrop, and then Doudrop came out and cost her the match.
And as I was saying to my roommates last night, it's too soon. It's too soon to do another. It's honestly too soon to do another Bianca Becky.
Yeah. I think you need to keep those two apart for a while. Absolutely. Because if you overdo the match, eventually it makes it so that the fans are not going to want to see the match anymore.
Exactly. I think they need to do. Yeah, they need to have Bianca working with other people.
Right. I mean, Rock and Austin, they only did a handful of matches against each other. They were able to keep that hot.
Yeah. Sometimes you can keep it hotter by keeping them apart.
Yeah. Yeah, and giving them different opponents. Yeah, I mean.
Exactly. Like, do it. Have Bianca win the Rumble.
Yeah, there you go. Again, for the second year in a row. Because
exactly.
She won last year, and that's how she got.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you don't have somebody else built up, have her win the Rumble again, and then she can go after whoever it was, SmackDown or Raw's champion at that point. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Oh crap!
I also think, which isn't a bad thing, to go along with the cuts as well. I think you're going to see Doudrop get that push / take that spot that Nia had previously.
Yeah. That would be a good spot for Doudrop to be the big kind of crushing heel. But the difference between Doudrop and Nia Jax, and we'll get into Nia Jax in a couple of minutes, but the difference between Nia Jax and Doudrop would actually be a safer worker.
Yeah, Doudrop actually has talent.
Facts, yes, and she can actually, yes, yeah.
As seen in NXT UK and other places.
Well, in NXT UK, NXT, Progress, ICW. Yeah. I mean, everywhere she wrestles, she's been at the top of the card for the women's division. So, yeah, that's the biggest.
I still don't like her name, but
no, I don't care for that name either. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I like Doudrop as a heel because I didn't care for Doudrop as that little dancing baby face. I didn't care because that's kind of a WWE formula. Is you have a big person, let's make them this dancing goofy gimmick, and it's just like that's not what all big people are for. You could do different things with them.
Yeah, I think you're kind of seeing some of that from last night.
Yeah, I mean they're finally going to do something different with Doudrop. They're turning her heel, so hopefully she drops that dancing gimmick.
She didn't seem to do a whole lot of dancing gimmick last night when we saw her. So
okay, well that's an improvement.
Yeah.
And then the Survivor Series. Let's talk about this for a minute. The Survivor Series teams. Now, Joel, you and I are in a Facebook group chat with a couple of buddies, and I made a comment. Well, I'm not the only one, but there have been comments made in that chat about the Survivor Series teams and the weak build-up for it. Would you agree it was a weak build-up? Would you agree that the way that these teams were just thrown together was?
I think so, because I mean, the other years there have been qualifying matches for people to get on.
Yeah,
the teams. Now it's just
random Saturday we're going to announce on Twitter. Yeah.
Like even to the point that Ricochet came out and asked why I commented about there not being qualifying matches.
Yeah, even the wrestlers are like, "Hey, what gives? Well, why are there no qualifiers?" Right.
But I do see in another sense though, I do see that they're trying to do all like former champions in a sense in the match.
Yeah, I got that former champions thing, but they never really told that story from the beginning of the build to Survivor Series. It was
exactly,
and that's the problem. It was they expect us to realize it right away, and instead of showing us.
Well, I think Adam Pearce on Raw kind of helped with that. Kind of explain it a bit more with the whole segment with Dominic and Lashley.
Yeah, that was I'm not gonna say that was a good match, but that was a good way to get Lashley into the match.
Yeah, no, they had to get Lashley into the match though.
Lashley has been on Raw for ages now, so it only
if you look at everybody else on the team, most of them are new.
Raw, yeah.
Like almost everybody else on the Raw's team's new to Raw from SmackDown.
I'm sorry?
Almost everybody else on SmackDown on the Survivor Series team for Raw only came over to Raw recently through the draft.
Yeah, that was a noticeable thing. And almost everybody almost everybody, over half the team on Team SmackDown came over from Raw.
Yeah.
I think the only two SmackDown guys that were on Team SmackDown were Baron Corbin and who was the other one? There was one other guy.
Yeah, Corbin was the main one though that was there.
Yeah.
Was already there.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up. This is the beauty of having a computer. You can just pull stuff up on a whim. Survivor Series.
I'll also say while you're bringing that up, I think MVP being back on Raw was huge.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I could. I think MVP is a real good hand for WWE to have backstage.
Absolutely.
And
I would almost go so far as to say that he's as close as they're going to get on Raw to Heyman in a sense for creativity.
Yeah, definitely. On Team SmackDown,
well, he's the reason why the Hurt Business even existed in WWE.
True.
He also has a background with Lashley from having been an Impact with him previously.
Yeah, he sparked that fire under Lashley. I think that's my ladder match thing. That's my gimmick there. But he definitely lit a match under Lashley. And for the record, it was Sami Zayn joining Baron Corbin. Those were the two SmackDown guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested in seeing some Owens versus Zayn during Survivor Series.
I don't know if Owens stays on Team Raw after last night.
He will.
You think?
Yeah.
But then I bet you, if he does stay on Team Raw, then I bet you during the match at Survivor Series, he just up and walks out.
No, I think he's gonna screw Rollins if anything.
You think he's gonna screw Rollins?
Yeah.
So he's not. So you don't think he's a full-fledged bad guy? You think he's kind of?
No, I think he's more Randy Orton-esque of kind of a tweener in there for himself. Like if the whole thing with last night of, do you believe in me? Do you believe in me? He's like, obviously nobody does. So fuck everybody.
Okay, I guess I could.
That's what I got from the build last night, where he was talking to everybody backstage about how he respects everybody, and everybody was just kind of almost giving him a cold shoulder, but not entirely.
Did you see his angle with Big E, where he beat the crap out of Big E?
That had to happen.
Yeah, it did. It did. Big E was his biggest doubter, so yeah. Yeah. So that was Raw in a nutshell last night, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to check out the rest of the clips, go check out their clips on YouTube, WWE on YouTube.
But even all the matches last night weren't bad. I didn't see a bad match last night. I even enjoyed the 24/7 section.
You know what? That was one of the best 24-second try this again. That was one of the best 24/7 segments. Say that 3 times fast.
I think the only way it could have been better is if they would have had R-Truth involved in it as well.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. I'm looking on the Raw YouTube channel right now, and it's we had.
But it was also a perfect way to bring Drake Maverick back, because Drake Maverick is the 24/7 title in my opinion, as much as R-Truth.
Yeah, those two are synonymous with the belt. We had RK Bro and the Street Profits defeating AJ Styles. I think Omos, Styles, and Rude and Ziggler defeated Street Profits and Orton and RK Bro.
I think Ziggler snuck in for the pin on Riddle.
Yeah, and then we had Big E versus Chad Gable, which I thought was a great match.
I was talking to somebody last night. That's in all honesty, that's probably one of the best Chad Gable matches I've seen to date in WWE. Dude,
I'm gonna say this right here, right now. Chad Gable has that stupid strength.
He gave me Kurt Angle vibes last night.
Yo, that dude, Chad Gable. Hey, that guy has some amazing strength.
Yeah, no, but he gave me total total Angle vibes last night.
Especially with that moonsault. That moonsault was a thing of beauty, man. I love that.
Speaking of good spots last night, did you see that spot last night between Rhea and Bianca in that women's match?
I did not.
Where Rhea went off the top rope and how Bianca sold it. Bianca bounced.
I missed that one. I'll have to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, that left me wanting more Rhea versus Bianca.
I think at that time during that match, for the most part, I was watching the brand new episode of NCIS. I had my uncle Ronnie here with me, and he wanted to watch the brand new episode of NCIS, so we watched some NCIS. I'm gonna get some brightness in my room. Hold up a second.
But yeah, go back and watch the women's match. It's one of the better women's matches I've seen, especially multi-person.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Overall, multi-person women's match, I would say the weakest person in the match was Carmella, and that wasn't a horrible thing.
No. I think every match needs a weak person. Someone that doesn't look as strong as everybody else.
Yeah, but Carmella still had her moments in the match.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And Carmella was the one to eat the pin, which made the most sense.
Yeah. Can we talk real quick about something? Zelina Vega with the stupid British accent. This is my plea to WWE. Please stop giving your kings and queens of the ring that stupid accent. It's not necessary. It is not needed. It's not funny.
Yeah, we don't get it with King Xavier though.
I think he's done a British accent.
I think he's done it as a joke, but I don't think he does it continuously.
Oh, okay.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to on SmackDown though this week. King Xavier versus Roman.
Oh, Roman's gonna murder that king. He's gonna.
I don't know.
You think Xavier might beat him?
I think he could because it's not for the title.
And actually, you know what? I do like this Xavier Woods Roman Reigns match because who's Roman facing at Survivor Series?
Exactly. I think Big E's going to cause something on SmackDown.
He might.
Even just showing up on the Titantron and
or playing his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, just psych out Roman Reigns and then the roll up pin and
or throw everybody off and have him come out to the ring with.
There you go.
For one night only. Well, it even up. It'd be 3-on-3 then. So you got to assume the Usos are going to be coming out with Roman.
Yeah. Another match that we're actually going to get that I'm actually excited for is the Intercontinental Champion versus the United States Champion. I guess that match hasn't been made official quite yet, but
I think it will be on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's Shinsuke. Shinsuke's still the champ, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest.
That's going to be magic.
That's going to be a match of the night. There's.
I don't know if you saw a recent article there, but there's a recent article where Angle's come out and said that Shinsuke should seriously get a bigger push than he has been.
Yes, I agree. Shinsuke is. He kind of started getting that push with the King of the Ring, or with the when he took the crown from Baron Corbin, and then he took the Intercontinental Championship. He started to get that push, but then they stopped. They're like, okay, we gave you this belt. Here you go. We're going to cool you off now. It's like, no. Keep him going. Keep giving.
I think they will now that the draft's finished.
Oh, I hope so, because there's a lot of matches I'd love to see. I would love to see Nakamura versus Ridge Holland, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see Rich Holland either teaming with or potentially feuding with Sheamus.
I also want to see Sheamus versus, not Sheamus, Shinsuke versus Cesaro. I think that match would be fantastic. I know that they were tag partners, and I'm not saying you got to turn one guy heel and the other guy not heel. I'm not saying turn one or the other. Keep them both baby faces and let them have a good match.
No, Sheamus heel.
No, Cesaro versus Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Don't turn either one of those heel.
No.
And let them go at it for the belt.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Cesaro, did you hear about his match in the UK?
Yeah, with Walter?
Yeah. Why is that not a television match?
They taped it.
They taped it?
They did tape it. I don't know if they're going to air it, but they did actually tape that event.
Okay, well, good. I hope that somehow they air that show because I would love to see the physicality between Walter and Cesaro.
Oh, WWE wishes they could have Walter on the main roster.
Yeah, I've heard that the main problem with that is he wants to be near his daughter. Walter does.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He refuses to live in the States or move to the States.
Yeah, and I understand that. As I'm not a parent. I'm not a father. Probably never will be. Actually, I probably never will be. I pretty much made a decision. I will never be a dad. I have a hard enough time taking care of myself. I couldn't imagine taking care of other people. And having them rely on me, that's a responsibility I could never handle, I don't think. So, not going to have any kids. I'll be the cool uncle. That's what I'll be.
Yeah, but I could see post COVID him coming over for events and stuff.
Well, my thing I was going to say before about me being a dad, my thing I was going to say was I understand wanting to be near your kids. I understand that and I respect that. That's very commendable. Like I said, I don't have any kids. I got my nephews, and I'm fortunate enough that my sister, my brother-in-law, and my nephews live literally right around the corner from us. So it's a walk away.
Yeah. So imagine living farther. So imagine moving farther away than that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I commend them for wanting to be near his little girl. That's commendable. So I understand that. I respect that. But yeah, Walter on the main roster would be fantastic. Walter versus Roman.
Walter versus Roman's not the match I want to see.
Well, who do you want to see?
Walter versus McIntyre.
Oh, we kind of got a glimpse of that at Survivor Series 2019.
Yeah, but I want to see more of that.
Yeah. They teased us. We have one viewer here. If I could see who is lurking.
Those two either against each other or those two teamed up.
Oh.
Either way, it's going to be nasty.
Oh God, dude! Oh, just imagine them as a tag team and they're just chopping their opponents.
Oh, yeah.
Just.
Those two versus Roman and somebody else.
Roman and Cesaro versus Drew and Walter.
Yeah, if not Roman, then I'd go Sheamus and Cesaro versus those two.
Oh God! Well, oh my God! Oh, and a no disqualification, anything goes. Like a tag team street fight. No, yeah. Oh,
but I could potentially see them doing what they did with Brock, eventually with Walter, if he's up to it.
Yeah, but that's a big if.
That's if Walter wants to.
Yeah. So
because quite honestly, Brock Lesnar lives in Canada.
Right. Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does he live anywhere near you?
No, he's closer to the West Coast. He's closer to Canada where you are. He's like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, somewhere around there. Oh. Like the prairies, when lives in the middle of nowhere and is basically a farmer when he's not wrestling.
Lucky you, he don't live near you. Otherwise, you may have to pack up and run.
I heard he's actually not that bad of a guy outside of wrestling. He's just
really? I've heard
quiet, shy, likes to keep to himself. He's not a people person.
No, I heard he was a dick, though.
He can be, but there are stories about him. There was a story when they were all on Monday Night Raw. They were storm states, snow states somewheres.
Mm-hmm.
He literally walked into the local bar and said, "Okay, how much is it going to cost to leave this bar open for these guys?" And just plopped the money down and said, "Here you go.
Hey,
stay open.
If you got it, you got it, I guess."
Yeah. No, he did it. He's like, "We need a place to go. Here you go, boys." Yeah. Boom. Drops the money down and the bar stayed open.
Well, hey, I guess that was a nice thing for Brock to do.
Yeah, I don't think he's not much of a dick. I think he doesn't like people.
Yeah.
He'd rather be quiet, alone to himself. He's not a huge.
Is that a definition? That's a definition of an introvert. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's not a big people person.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't stick around often. He's like, I'll come in, I'll do the job, and then I'll leave. I don't. Let's go back to the farm.
I saw a clip where he did a Make-A-Wish for a little kid, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, he will do that stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess. You know, I have a soft spot in my heart for people who do stuff with Make-A-Wish. That's just.
Yeah, you want to know who one of the biggest dicks was in WWE? Ultimate Warrior when he was around.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior was trash, bro. He was trash. You know.
Yeah, like no, he left people waiting backstage for Make-A-Wish and just didn't bother. And then Brett and other people would go in and basically take over. Warrior.
I'm glad he was able to kind of make amends with people towards the end there, but he was still trash. Not just in the ring, because in the ring he sucked as a wrestler. He had the clotheslines and the splash, and that was it.
He was WWF's Goldberg.
I don't know if Goldberg had that same attitude.
No, I mean moveset and
like in ring work wise.
Yeah,
Goldberg had a couple of different moves. He didn't just do clotheslines and power stuff. Goldberg had like the spear, he had the jackhammer, he had the military press.
Yeah, he still had a very limited moveset, and I blame that on WCW.
Yeah, they should have trained him to do a little bit more. I thought it was funny. Regal sandbagged him. That was hilarious.
They rushed him to the main roster during the Monday Night Wars, basically.
I think at that point they had to, because WWE was coming out with stars too. I mean,
I don't know. They could have used other people though. They could have used Booker T. They could have used other people that were there and not.
Booker, I think, was in Harlem Heat, but
yeah.
they churned out. But WWE around the time that they debuted Goldberg, WWF was churning out Brett, Shawn, Taker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind.
Yeah,
that's a who's who of pro wrestlers.
Yeah, but the other thing with WCW was they were all about the big guys. So I mean, they had like Jericho, Benoit, Malenko. They had all these guys there. They
have the young start, the up and comers.
They had Eddie Guerrero. They had Ray.
But you look at The Rock. You look at Stone Cold. You look at Mankind. You look at Bret Hart. You look at Shawn Michaels. Look at The Undertaker, and then you look at Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio. Which batch of stars would you have made big time first?
I would have been hit or miss on certain ones because I don't know. I have this ungodly love for Eddie Guerrero and everything he could do. Like that man was gold on the mic.
Oh yeah, Eddie was fantastic. I'm not saying that Ray and Eddie and Benoit and all that wouldn't have been world champs. They certainly would have been upper echelon down the road. But for the Monday Night Wars, who are you going to push? I would have pushed Rock and Austin and Mankind and Brett and Shawn and Undertaker.
Yeah, but if I was WCW, I would have been pushing Eddie Guerrero to the moon.
You would have pushed Eddie Guerrero over Hulk Hogan. You would have pushed Eddie Guerrero over Ric Flair. You would have pushed Eddie Guerrero over Kevin Nash, Diamond Dallas Page, Scott Hall.
I don't know if over them, but I would have had them up there with them as feuding with them. And
okay. Eddie kind of did. He kind of feuded with the NWO a bit with Jericho.
Yeah, but then they basically dropped it cold turkey and
yeah,
they never followed through.
Yeah,
that was the problem. I mean, like Billy Kidman was another guy there.
Yeah. Ultimo Dragon.
Exactly, but that whole like Filthy Animals crew, like you could have pushed those guys hard.
Conan should have been pushed. Definitely.
Yeah.
Conan
was with them though. Conan was with them at that point though. So it was Conan, Conan, Kidman, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie.
Yeah.
Like, you could have pushed those guys to the moon.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of pushing guys to the moon, let's talk about some of these WWE releases. There were 3 names on this list, and one name that there were 3 names on this list that kind of surprised me, and there was one name on this list that was a long time coming. I think you know who the one name is.
Nia.
Yeah. Let's talk about those releases. Nia Jax, let's talk about her first. It was a long time coming. We talked about this a little bit earlier. She wasn't safe.
No.
She wasn't safe. She wasn't professional. She was getting her opponents hurt. Whether it was on purpose or not, she was hurting her opponents. And WWE.
Well, go back to Becky Lynch and breaking her nose.
But hey, look what that did for Becky Lynch.
Oh, it did, but it didn't need to happen.
Hey, you're right. You're right. It wasn't safe for her. It wasn't safe. It wasn't safe for Nia to do that, and she was careless in doing that. But Becky became a much hotter star because of that broken nose. So, but yeah, look at Kairi Sane. Remember when they were doing those empty show Raws, and she had a match with Kairi Sane, and she banged her head on the. She banged Kairi's head on the steps and busted her open.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff like that, and then just getting into an unprofessional fight with Charlotte Flair in the middle of a match. How does that happen?
I think that was personally on Charlotte, though, too.
Yeah, those are both of them. They were both to blame. I remember I was watching that with my uncle, and they kind of. I remember watching the match. I'm like, oh, this is a weird match because they're both bad guys. And I'm like, is Charlotte turning babyface here? Right? It was a weird match to have to begin with, and then they did the little slap fight thing that they did.
Yeah,
and I'm like, did they screw something up there? Because I thought they botched something and they were just kind of trying to bide for time.
No,
they were just kind of fighting.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not right. They did something was up there. That wasn't part of the match.
Did you know they also got into it recently backstage too, before the whole firing?
I did not hear about that one.
Yeah, no, there was another one between Nia and Charlotte.
About what?
Everything to do with similar to do with the whole Becky stuff.
Oh.
Nia just decided she was going to want to step up to her. Nia just decided she was going to be the one to step up to her.
You know what I think? I'm going to make a bold thing here. I'm going to make a bold statement. And I bet you're going to agree. Charlotte Flair is jealous of Becky Lynch.
I think Charlotte Flair's now in the process of trying to do everything to be gone or out of WWE.
So that might be a possibility. I think she's jealous of Becky.
Oh, I think there's parts of that there as well, because Becky's more popular and more over than Charlotte is.
I would say Becky. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I would argue that Becky's more successful than Charlotte, but Charlotte's got all those accolades, so never mind.
Charlotte's riding on her dad's name, honestly.
Yes. There's like a bug flying or something. Yeah. Charlotte, she is riding the coattails of her father. I 100% agree with that statement.
And her dead brother, to a lesser extent.
Watching the stream, so hold up, because we're going to share this stream one more time.
But yeah, no, I think she's also riding off of her dead brother's coattails as well.
Her dead bro. Ooh.
Not purposely, but him dying is one of the reasons why she got into wrestling in the first place.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because in my opinion, for the Hart family, they were comparing to the Hart family, the brother dying is an equivalent to that family of Owen Hart dying, just not the same way.
You're sitting here on the Seibelmania and Friends podcast saying Reed Flair is the equivalent of Owen Hart
for the Flair family. Yes, that dude was talented beyond. Like that would have been he was basically Ric Flair's golden child, and Charlotte had zero interest previously in going into wrestling until half inspired after he died.
I'm gonna let you say that. Yeah,
because he was talented. He was over in New Japan doing. He was over in Japan doing stuff, and that's when he died. That's when he died because of like alcohol and drugs.
David Flair?
Yeah, no, Reed.
Flair.
Reed Flair.
Okay.
David Flair, no. David Flair would be the equivalent of another random Hart showing up and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm part of the Hart family."
He would be the equivalent of Gary Hart. No. What was one of the Hart brothers' name?
There's Bruce and Keith that showed up at one Survivor Series.
Okay. David would be Bruce Hart. Or Keith Hart.
David Flair in WCW, all he was doing was like hardcore type matches and tag matches. They weren't doing anything. They kind of let him be there because he was part of the Hart because he was part of the Flair family, not because he was necessarily the most talented person in the world.
Yeah. Back to these releases. So Nia, she was a long time coming. She was unsafe. So let her go back. Let her train a little bit more. Maybe bring her back down the line, down the road, if she could be a safer worker. But she's got to learn to work. Maybe. Now these three releases, I'm just going to lump all three of these into one. Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, and Scarlett Bordeaux. You know what? I'm going to lump four because Mia Yim too. Because Mia Yim and Keith Lee are engaged. And I think Karrion Kross and Scarlett are like husband and wife too.
Or engaged or something somewhere.
So those two couples. Keith and Karrion were not treated well in the main roster.
I would say Keith Lee was treated better than Karrion Kross, but that's not saying much.
But still, towards the end there, no.
Keith Lee lost his steam when he went out with whatever that injury was. Honestly,
yeah, that was weird. Why? That was weird that he just kind of up and left and.
I heard it was COVID.
I heard it was COVID. I heard he himself actually said it was a life-threatening illness.
Yeah. But I think that's probably COVID. Which
probably plays into why he was released. Well, if this is life-threatening, we don't want to risk your life.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if he was back, if he was back wrestling, it can't be that life-threatening.
Right. He was back wrestling, so he was fine.
I mean, Roman Reigns had leukemia, and he's still there.
And I'm sorry, folks. I got to say this. WWE says that they released these guys because of budget cuts. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. I got to call bullshit on that. This company does a lot of stuff for a lot of reasons, but they have cut what was the number, Joel? Was it 70 people in 2021 alone?
I think so.
Yeah, because of budget cuts. That's bullshit.
No, I mean, I can see some of them. If they're not being used. I mean, sure, get rid of them and use the money elsewhere. Like, a lot of the NXT guys I could see going too because they're going with a younger age bracket for NXT roster.
And that's another thing. I understand that you want to get that 18 to 49 demographic. Why that demographic is so important, I don't know. Don't ask me.
Because that's your stereotypical wrestling fan.
Okay. I'm 28, so.
Yeah, but 18 to 40, you're still in that bracket though.
Yeah. Well, but still, it's a weird thing to well, if we're not 18 to 49, we don't want you as a wrestling fan. And that's basically what they're doing. They're pushing them away.
Yeah, no, Vince is basically NXT. He wants young guys who are homegrown, not been in indies, so they can train them the way they want and try and not have to break the indie style out of them.
Which also is freaking stupid. I get that you want your homegrown talent and everything, but don't you want experienced professionals?
On the main roster, you should.
Look.
NXT, I can see because NXT's developmental, so I could see them not wanting it down there. But bring those guys up that are that talented, that are
right. Don't release them. Just bring them up to
like Gargano is rumored to be in the next set of, and rumored to be named in the next set of cuts.
Ciampa. I've heard.
Oh yeah, no, but Ciampa. I love Ciampa, but I could see why Ciampa would be released.
Yeah.
He refuses to go to the main roster and doesn't want to do all the travel.
Yeah, I get that. And
so if you put those limitations in yourself, I can kind of see why he could be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Because how often does WWE travel?
Every single day.
Exactly. But he also refuses to go to the main roster. He's like, no.
I've also heard that Kyle O'Reilly's contract is coming up. Don't let Kyle go. Don't let him go.
Kyle O'Reilly and Gargano had a dark match, I think, on either Raw or Raw last night or SmackDown last week.
I think it was SmackDown because I heard that same thing.
Yeah.
And I hope that means that they're staying. Gargano needs that money. He's about to be a dad. He needs that.
Gargano's basically been working with NXT backstage.
So he's pretty much got his job set.
Yeah, he's been working as producer with HBK, who's been basically taking over NXT right now.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that Gargano is set for a while in WWE NXT.
Yeah, but even still, some of those NXT guys like O'Reilly and them, you know that if their contracts are up, AEW is going to come crawling for them.
And that's what I'm saying. Don't let them go. Because that's one of the last things AEW needs right now is more guys. I mean,
yes and no. Yes, they could use some more middle upper card guys.
I'm saying they don't need more guys.
No, but if they did, they would need more middle to upper card guys because they've got a lot of.
I could see AEW hiring Karrion Kross and Keith Lee and Scarlett and Mia. I could see AEW hiring those four. With Scarlett and Mia on AEW, that would be a hell of a women's division.
Yeah.
Because then you would have Serena Deeb, you would have Hikaru Shida, you would have Britt Baker.
Ruby Soho alone. Like, that pop that she gets in AEW that she never got in WWE, that should tell people something about her right there.
Everybody says that Ruby Soho is so good and so popular and everything. I don't see it. I'm gonna keep it real.
She's good.
She's good.
She's good, but I wouldn't put her up with the greats like Britt Baker that's there or
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
Or Serena Deeb. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But she's I would say next tier below them.
Yeah. I also would say that Impact Wrestling, Impact Wrestling has a very good knockouts roster right now because they got Mickie James. They got
who shouldn't be women's champion in my opinion, but
what you think?
Mickie James shouldn't be women's champion.
Why?
Well, unless there's something going on with Peruzzo, I think Peruzzo should have kept it. And I'm seriously hoping at the next pay-per-view that Mercedes Martinez walks out with it.
You know what? I would love to see Mercedes. Yeah, that was another name I was going to mention. Mercedes Martinez. So you got three veterans: Mickey James, Madison Rayne, and Mickey James. Hang on, I said Mickey James. Stupid. God damn it, Madison Rayne, Mickey James, and Mercedes Martinez. You got those three as the veterans, and then you have Tasha Steele, Savannah Evans,
Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace. Yes.
Can be left said right there. Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace is amazing.
Facts. I love Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellerling.
Yeah.
I mean, she's great too. Yeah. And I think Kira Hogan is still with Impact.
I think
I've seen her wrestle on AEW, but I think she's still with Impact too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've all. That's the thing, but that's the thing though. With even AEW having a huge roster, they allow their wrestlers to wrestle elsewhere. So just because they're signed with AEW and not being seen on there doesn't mean they're not wrestling for this promotion here or that promotion there or somewhere else.
Yeah. Hey, we got two viewers in the chat. We got two viewers right now on this video. So if you're viewing this video, drop a comment down below. Say what's up. Ask a question. Do whatever. Please. We would love to interact with you guys.
Let us know. Did you see the last episode of Impact?
Parts of it.
Okay. Did you see the inspiration on there?
Yeah, the inspiration with the Decay.
The inspiration is the Iconics.
With and they were doing stuff with Rosemary and and Havoc. Yeah.
You can just tell that they're having fun over there again.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love those two.
They're basically doing the same stick. Doing the same stick. I can't talk today. They're basically doing the same stick in Impact that they did in WWE.
But they're having fun with it.
Yeah. They had fun with it in WWE too.
At times, but you could tell near the end they were just like, nah.
Yeah, well, they got cut. They got removed from one another, so it wasn't the same. But yeah,
Billy Kay on WWE was amazing when they split.
I'm going to say this right here, right now. I was a Billy Kay fan before Billy Kay was Billy Kay. Do you remember what her independent wrestling name was?
No.
Okay. Her independent wrestling name was Jessie McKay.
Okay.
And she wrestled in PWA Australia. She wrestled in Shikara for a minute. She wrestled in a lot of different places. I have maybe I'll send you some. I have several of her Shimmer wrestling matches that I watch. I have Jessie McKay versus Nicole Matthews. I have Jessie McKay versus Tomaka Nakagawa. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know. It's Japanese. I have her versus Portia Perez. I have her versus Sarah Del Rey. She has a ton of great matches on that I would recommend you check out. Also, do you remember Madison Rayne's independent wrestling name before she was Madison Rayne?
I should, but I don't remember it right off now.
It was Ashley Lane.
Okay.
And she also was in Shimmer. See, Joel, I don't know if you know this about me. You probably don't. I am a huge women's independent wrestling fan. Now, when I say women's independent wrestling fan, I'm not talking about that mud crap and the bra and panties and naked. No, I like Shimmer. I don't know if you ever heard of Shimmer.
Yeah.
But I like those kinds of things. Shimmer Wrestling. Women's Wrestling Uncensored or whatever. WSU. Women's Superstars Uncensored, I think is what it was. I love women's independent wrestling. And Jessie McKay was one of my favorites. In her Shimmer run, she was a babyface, not a heel. So like all these matches, she was like the good guy. And she was known as everybody's favorite girlfriend. And she was really, really good. I remember in 2010, I this is a little story for you. This is what we do on Seibelmania Friends. We get into stories. But in 2010, December 2010, I had to have surgery on my left ear because that summer it was bleeding like profusely, right? And it would bleed, and it got regular, so I would just like stick a cotton thing in it and stop the bleeding, and it'd be fine, right? Well, at school one day, school just started, and at school one day, I was hanging out with the campus supervisors like I always do because I was cool with them. And he's like, "Oh, dude, your ear's bleeding." I'm like, "Oh, is it?" He's like, "Yeah, go check it out." I'm like, "Oh no, just give me a tissue, I'll be fine, right?" He's like, "No, just go to the nurse's office, get it looked at, check it out, right?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's been doing this all summer long. It's fine. I just need a tissue to clean it up, right? Just to wipe it out." He's like, "No, please go to the nurse. Go get it looked at." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So I go to the nurse, and she checks me, and she's like, "Yeah, so your ear is bleeding. I don't know why. So I'm going to call your parents, have them come pick you up and take you to the doctor." I'm like, "I'm not sick or anything." She's like, "I know, but I just want them to check your ear, right?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I got to go home early that day, which was kind of cool, I guess. And I wasn't in trouble, which was even better. So I go to the doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to have surgery on that thing." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's great." So anyway, this wraps up, I promise. The night before my surgery, which took place December 29th, 2010. And unfortunately, it wasn't a surgery where I had to stay overnight. I could go in the morning, get it done, and then come home. So it's not like I had to spend the new year in the hospital, thank God. Anyway, the night before, I stayed up all night watching like this YouTube channel. They had a bunch of Shimmer wrestling matches, and I just remember watching every single one of them. And that's how I was introduced to Jesse McKay and Ashley Lang and stuff like that. So, yeah,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing I like about the Inspiration or Iconics is, if you don't know, they actually have been friends since high school.
Yeah, I heard that.
Like they grew up together.
Yeah, I've heard that, and they had a match in PWA together as well, 1-on-1. They wrestled.
Yeah, but no, they're like best friends. So watching them in a tag team together,
it's fantastic.
You can just see how they gel together and how they just know how to play off of each other.
Yeah,
like that whole thing with Decay was amazing in that house. It's just like and then later they go see those other two, like the bridesmaids or whatever, and get them to have a match with Decay.
Yeah, yeah. The bridesmaids are Kimberly and Brandy Lauren.
Yeah. That's
their names. Again, I'm a huge independent wrestling fan, women's independent wrestling fan, so I know a lot of these names. I'm going to throw a few names at you and see if you recognize any of them. Are you ready? Taylor Hendricks. Ever heard of her?
Yep.
Okay. Mischief?
No.
No? Oh, you should check out Mischief. She's great. She's up there with, like, Sarah Del Rey. Have you ever heard of Sarah Del Rey?
Yeah.
Okay, she's up there with her, and have you ever heard of Cheerleader Melissa?
Yes.
Okay. Mischief is up there with those two on talent levels.
Isn't Del Rey the one that's the women's trainer for NXT?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact then. Do you know who she's dating or who she's seeing?
Cesaro.
Yep. Yeah.
They've been together for a while, since PWA days or PWG. Yeah. They've even wrestled each other. Yeah. Do you know the name Barbie Hayden?
Sorry, which name?
Barbie Hayden?
No.
No? Okay, I would check her out. She's on Women of Wrestling, if you've ever heard of Women of Wrestling.
Yeah.
She is Aileen Maverick.
Okay.
That's Barbie Hayden, if you know who I'm talking about.
I think I've heard the other name. I've heard the name she goes by, Women of Wrestling. More.
Yeah. That's she's really good too. She's one of those names that should have been hired in WWE a while ago. She and Taylor should have been picked up by WWE a while ago, and it's a shame that they never were.
It's age probably now.
I'm not sure how old they are. Barbie Hayden was born in 1991. I'm gonna look up their ages here.
But some of them would be ages though, because they're looking for people in like their 20s and.
Yeah, well, Barbie Hayden
for NXT.
I know she's not the youngest. I know she's not old. She is. You said they want them in their 20s. Well, Barbie may have passed that because she's like 31 now. But,
so no, they won't. They won't even look at her now because they want people in like. They want people they can have and have mold to WWE's way and potentially keep for a while.
Yeah, the WWE way is so cringy.
Vince is all caught up. He doesn't want to build superstars anymore because look at what happened to the last real big superstars he built up.
Brock and Cena, yeah. I just,
And what do? They leave.
They left. They went to go do movies. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, speaking of The Rock, I brought this up on several podcasts since. So I'm sorry if you're viewing this and I'm repeating it. Have you heard The Rock's verse on Pentatonix song?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
He's good.
Thank you. Do you listen to rap regularly?
Yeah.
Do you? Oh no, this is a topic we could get into. Hold up.
I listen to a bit of everything. The only thing I don't really like country music.
Okay.
And I'm not really big into obviously gospel or opera or stuff like that. But other than that, I listen to a bit of everything.
Do you like a cappella groups?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever heard of Pentatonix?
Yes.
I like them. They're great. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I watched them. They were weren't they on the Sing Off originally?
They were on a competition show. I think it was.
Yeah, I watched them when they were on the competition show.
I think they won. Yeah, they were really good. I liked their.
Yeah, that was one it was an acapella one that Ben Folds was actually the big person behind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ben Folds is huge into acapella and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, let's see away from wrestling here for a minute. Who are some of your favorite rappers right now?
Love Run the Jewels.
Okay.
That's my style.
Okay. Do you like Eminem?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, have you heard his album "Music to Be Murdered By" and Side B?
Yep.
Okay. Which one is your favorite song from both those? From both?
Can't say right off. The Side B. Godzilla's awesome.
Yeah.
Darkness is great.
Yeah, Darkness was fantastic.
And there's just something about Stepdad on that album that
yo, hey, I don't have a stepdad. I have a father. I don't even feel that way about him. And I love that song.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my dad. My dad's the greatest man I'll ever know. I'm just putting that out there.
No, but just in the fact alone, the raw emotion and everything with that song, it just
have you heard?
You feel it.
I liked in that song he did. I liked in his song "Leaving Heaven" when he talked about I'm asking for a pass to go to hell so I can go whip your fucking ass. I love that. That was Eminem is pissed.
Otherwise, I'm more of a rock alternative, classic rock kind of guy. But I love some rap.
I'm gonna spit some names at you. You should check out because these guys are pretty dope. Crypt. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Crypt.
No.
Crypt is really, 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 really good. He did a remix of Eminem's song Godzilla, but he kept the original hook in there. The monster, you get in my way, I'm gonna feed you to the monster. He did that hook. He did that hook, but then every other lyric in the song was original, aside from the fast part, the speed rap part. He did the hook and the speed rap part just like in the original. But every other part was all him. So he did that song. And then he's got his own music. I would check out off the top of my head. If you want to if you want to get introduced to him, I would check out Bad Habit, Call It Quits, Rapping from My Closet. Those 3 songs right there are good songs to get introduced to Crypt. And then if you want to get into his emotional bag, to Crypt's emotional side, you check out Sundays with Grandma or I'm Not Okay. Because those 2 songs are really, really powerful. And then if you just want a song where he's like, oh, you can feel the emotion, where he's angry, I would check out Crypt Us. It's just Us. And and then Night in September, because you got to check out those 2 songs. But check out Us first, and then Night in September second, because it's like a story between those 2 songs.
Okay.
So it starts on Us and it goes through Night in September. But just the Crypt is fantastic. And then another name I would recommend is Clip Monstar.
I've heard of him. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I've heard of him.
Yeah. He does. I talked about him in the chats a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a lot of wrestling references in his songs.
Nice.
He's done Booker. He's done Harlem Heat references. He's done Booker T references. He did an Ultimate Warrior reference. He's done Diamond Dallas Page.
Okay.
He does a lot of wrestling. He has a song called TLC, and he says that's tables, ladders, and chairs. If you don't get it, don't care. Like on that WWE stuff, he's talking about that, and then he can flip it and say that's T-Ball's Left Eye and Chili, TLC, the girl group. Yeah. So he flips it like that, yeah. But it's pretty cool. In one of his songs, he does the Undertaker gong hit. The dong dong. I think it's Knight Rider. I could be wrong. I think it's with that one. And then in another song he does called Grudge, he goes. He says, still like McFoley on Cactus Jack with the landmine. Don't care to show no dude love. Lyrical threat to mankind. Which is cool. Which is pretty dope.
Question for you: Are you gonna watch Full Gear this weekend?
No.
No.
No, I'm not paying for it. And if I could find a live stream, I might. Like a free thing on the internet, I might. But I'm not going to fork out $40. I
probably shouldn't say this. I probably shouldn't say this on a live YouTube stream, but I never fork out money for any wrestling events and still watch them.
Well, you're in Canada. Do you pay for? You don't have to pay for every network, do you? For Peacock.
Can't get Peacock up here.
Oh well, there you. You have WWE
Network? And WWE Network's only provided through cable, and I say fuck cable. I can find everything online.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'll send you the link from where I watch most of my stuff from, because why pay for it?
Okay.
The match alone on that I'm looking forward to.
Page versus Omega. No. Because you're looking at the same match I'm looking forward to. Punk, Kingston.
Yes.
Hey, I got to do this right now. Join me, Joel. Join me in doing this, Joel, for Punk and Kingston.
Yeah.
That was fantastic stuff last Friday night.
You know what the thing is with Kingston, though?
Yo.
They don't give him a script.
No, he goes out. He's real. He's real. And that's why he's so good, because he's real. That's what WWE needs. They need real. They don't need scripts. Stop scripting them. Stop it. I understand you're a publicly traded company. Good for you. I don't care. I don't care if you're publicly traded. I don't care if you're privately traded. I don't care about any of that crap. Please stop scripting your wrestler so much. Stop micromanaging so much. You know why the Attitude is so great, Joel? Because it was not scripted. Because it was not micromanaged. Do you think they gave
The Rock a script?
No. If they did, The Rock would go, Rip it up. Because why script? Why? I understand on television shows like Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Man, Law and Order, all that crap. I understand that those shows need scripts, okay?
Oh, of course.
And the actors that do those scripts are really good at acting. Wrestlers aren't, oh man. Aside from a select few, Rock, Cena, Austin, Hogan, wrestlers are not actors. They are.
And no, most of the time they started off as wrestlers and became actors, so I wouldn't even say they were actors. I'd say they grew into being actors from wrestling.
You're right. Wrestlers are not actors. They're athletes. They're performers. They're wrestlers. You cannot. It'd be like scripting a basketball player to go and hit a 3-pointer. Come on. It's not. Come on. Or
and I'm sorry. Most of the times, I would actually be cheering for Punk in his matches.
You're going to be cheering for Kingston. Yeah, that was the thing, was Punk came out kind of heelish in his promo.
No, I think Punk's a dick.
Yeah, he came off as a dick in that promo.
No, I literally think he is.
In general?
To some people, anyways. I wouldn't say to everybody, but I think he comes across to that of, like, some of the younger guys and stuff, like, stick his nose up at them, and...
Yeah.
That's why so far to this point he's been more like picky and choosy as to who he's wanting to wrestle there. That's why he's not wrestling just anybody.
It's funny to me that he says that he wants to put over the future of AEW. Putting over the future of AEW is not beating them in one match and then moving on to the next. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you
like, it was fine with Darby. Darby could eat the pin on Punk and still survive. Not everybody can.
He's doing it week after week after week, and he's still claiming, I want to put the future of AEW over. Well, then how about giving them a meaningful feud and letting them pin you? That would.
I don't know how, after 7 years, how great he is in the ring at the moment. That's why I think they're kind doing of short things with him.
I hope that this Kingston feud isn't short, though.
One, I hope it's not short. And two, I would love for Kingston to walk out on top in that match.
oh God, just the braggadocious rights he would have. Yeah.
Like, let's shoot fight it.
Yeah,
let's shoot fight it.
Oh, there you go. Non-sanctioned shoot fight. There you go.
Oh, they could sanction it, but still be a shoot fight and just non-scripted and just let them go in the ring.
Go. Right. Yeah.
Punk would die. Honestly, I think by the end of it, Punk would die. Punk would die.
Punk would get blown up like a second in the match. Punk is one of those.
Honestly, the only reason Danielson beat him was because he made him pass out / tap out.
Yeah.
Like, no, he passed out.
Yeah. Hey,
which I was fine with that. You know what I mean? It's Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson making Kingston tap out.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. One final topic, and then we'll close out this show because we've been live for about an hour and ain't nobody watching us. So, what do you think of the Jon Moxley situation? Before you say anything, I just want to say, get well to Jon Moxley. I'm incredibly proud of you for getting the help you need. Take as much time as you need. Just heal yourself. I want to say that right off the bat.
Yeah, I say props to him for obviously noticing it and especially with noticing it, noticing what he needs, and especially with him having a young kid. Like,
yeah.
Do it now before the kid's too old, and you potentially lose that relationship or whatever with the kid because of your own personal problems and stuff.
Yeah, do it now while your kid still doesn't quite fully understand what's going on. Because once they start to understand what's going on, you're gonna have to explain a heck of a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
I broke my ankle, Joel. and I had to explain what was going on to my nephew, who's 4 years old, and how do you explain a broken ankle to a 4-year-old? You know what I mean? They have so many questions. I remember the first time he saw me coming out on the crutches, he was scared. He had that scared look on his face, and I'm like, "I'm okay, buddy. Don't worry about it," And he was really scared that. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, I fell off of a ladder. I was helping Papa, his grandpa. I was helping Papa putting up some shelves in the garage, and I fell off the ladder, and I broke my ankle." And he still doesn't fully grasp it because I have a scooter that I ride around with to help me move around, and he thinks it's a toy. It's not, but yeah. We've been live for an hour and 11 minutes. We had a couple of viewers come in. I don't think we had any comments.
But I also think with the whole Moxley thing, it was perfect to replace him with Miro.
Yes, I would agree.
Because Miro versus Danielson is going to be a phenomenal match, I think, on Full Gear.
Yes, sir, it will be. Hey, Joel, did you want to do a Full Gear review on Saturday night afterwards?
Sure, and if it doesn't happen on Saturday, we'll do it Sunday. But yeah, this weekend we'll do one. Sounds
good. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for this weekend. We got another live video coming up. But with Joel and myself, we're going to be reviewing Full Gear as well as any other wrestling news that breaks over the week. So, until next time, I forgot. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up down below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. I upload new content every single week. So, and if you don't subscribe and like the video, Rikishi's going to come to your house, personally to your house, and give you a stink face. So you better like and subscribe and all that good stuff.
And then he's going to tell you he did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock. Yeah. So until this weekend, I'm Seibelmania. He's Joel. We're signing out. Deuces.